Here we are in BioTrek, located in Rhode Island. Why are we here? If you follow our Instagram, you know that we've sold BioTrek. Well, the new owners live in Spain, and we just like to keep an eye on it to make sure all is well. And we were coming down in this area to enjoy a weekend, and so we're stopping by, and Pierre's checking out the systems and just making sure everything's okay. You're just checking everything? Does everything look good?
Yes, more or less.
In our last video, we arrived in the Caribbean. And in this video, this is kind of where it all happens, because in this video, we are in Saint Martin, we have family on board, and we have a fabulous time. But more importantly, that's when we decided to put BioTrek up for sale. And while we were in Saint Martin, our broker from Just Catamarans called us and said that there was somebody, a surveyor, who wanted to look at the boat. We had a visit from the surveyor, we got everything ready, actually a bit of a rush right before a long 2,000-mile passage because we planned to take the boat from Saint Martin directly to New England. And while we were at sea, we had our first offer on the boat. And before we landed in port, we had additional interest on the boat. And so before we knew it, BioTrek was sold. And we never did get a chance to take the boat up to Boston and to enjoy all of the Boston Harbor Islands as we had planned, because we didn't expect the boat to sell so quickly. But that's life, and we have moved on, and we're really enjoying our time in Boston this summer and taking care of things that have been kind of let go for the last 3 years, putting things in order, seeing family. It's been a whirlwind coming back to live on land-based life. Yes, coming home has been a whirlwind. But for our BioTrek followers, we're going to continue with the BioTrek series, and then we're going to move on to a new series. I can't tell you what that's going to be yet, but Pierre and I love exploring our world and our ocean with our dog Tiller. In our last video, we said farewell to our friends in Martinique as we set sail for Saint Martin. We completed our circumnavigation in Martinique, and we're getting ready to set sail towards home, which is Boston in Massachusetts, United States. We celebrated this circumnavigation with the Gliwo rally that we had been with for much of the journey. Although we did spend a year in French Polynesia rather than sailing to New Zealand. We joined the rally in Vanuatu after that year, and we sailed with them all the way across the Indian Ocean, around South Africa to Brazil, and back to the Caribbean. After the farewell party, as dawn broke, we found our surroundings covered in haze, not from fog, but from sand from the Sahara all the way from Africa. It was an eerie and surreal experience, setting off under this sandy veil. We were barely able to make out Diamond Rock until we were right beside it. We had removed the mainsail in Martinique for some minor repairs, and Pierre had to do a few adjustments before we could raise it again. Your acceleration shows between the islands, so it's nice to have one ready. We're sailing between islands, and this is kind of the convergence zone where you get these wind accelerations as they come around the island. So this is very typical for the Caribbean, and you can see we're sailing kind of fast. We've got a full main. It should calm down before we get to the other island, and then I can make some lunch, because I won't cook when it's like this, because it's a bit rough. We've got waves splashing the bow of the boat, and it's So you go from no wind to too much wind. And that's a little bit what sailing in the Caribbean is like. We're here, we've just passed the end of Martinique. When we get up behind Dominica, it's going to decrease, but hopefully it's going to decrease in a little bit before then. With all the sand in the air, we're not going to get much of a sunset. We arrived in Saint-Martin the following morning and anchored near Caille Verte in Orient Bay, a beautiful anchorage with restaurants facing the beach and beautiful turquoise waters that are perfect for water sports. The sandy fog was left behind in Martinique, along with the memories of our circumnavigation that had officially concluded there. But in Saint-Martin, we rejoined with our friends from Palm 3 who lived in Saint-Martin, and here's a view of Mappy doing e-foil. We watched our friends from 2 canoes arriving. They were outside the reef and would have to sail around Caille Verte to enter in the safe part of the passage into the bay. And as soon as they arrived, Antoine jumped in the water and he also tried e-foil. He got upright on the very first time. Rescue. Pierre joined in the fun with his wingboard, and Tiller just loves to watch all the activity. Here she is watching Anne from 2 canoes. We're just bringing up the dinghy after a trip to the beach. Pierre noticed that something was going on. It looked like somebody had drowned and there were people trying to rescue them, doing CPR, so we rushed over with our defibrillator. The MT arrived just as we got there and took over from the bystanders. Unfortunately, this did not end well. The victim had swallowed too much water to be resuscitated. It sounds like people are estimating he could have been in the water 15 minutes. And, he's a swimmer, so either heart attack, stroke, or a wave threw him on the rocks. It's a reminder never to swim alone. Bay-Orient in Saint-Martin is a fabulous place to do wind sports because it usually has enough wind for kiteboard or wing. But we moved to a calmer anchorage near Ile Pinel because we wanted to be close to Ville-Mapaille. Many thanks to Mappy and Dominique who lent us their villa, normally a rental villa, which has an infinity pool, 5 bedrooms, and was perfect for our family coming in to visit. We really enjoyed our stay, being able to enjoy time with family after being away for 3 years in our circumnavigation. Tiller enjoyed the freedom to run around without a leash and having so many people around to give her attention. We had one rainy day and my brother-in-law happened to be looking out and saw a bolt of lightning hit the top of a mast of a charter boat coming in. This is the boat right here. They were motoring towards the anchorage at the time and had to do an emergency drop of the anchor. They lost all electronics, including the motor. BioTrek was close by and we had one small electrical anomaly, which Care managed to fix. The sun soon came out again, as often happens in the tropics. Being close to Il Pinel, we could enjoy the outstanding restaurant on that island and the ambience of the shallow beach and doing some water sports. Here's my brother-in-law on e-foil. We recommend anyone in Saint-Martin stop at the boutique Gypsy James for some fabulous shopping. All good things must come to an end. We had to say goodbye to our family and move BioTrek into the marina in town so we could get ready for the visit by a surveyor who was going to look at BioTrek on behalf of a client. The same day we left Saint-Martin for our departure of the long trip home towards New England. So we've taken off all the cushions, but we've left Tiller's cushion here just because I washed them all. And the boat's looking pretty fabulous. We've got little Tiller there. The weather showing you here?
I don't know. Something strange is happening out there.
What's strange?
23, 24 knots on the nose. And it looks like it's right in the Gulf Stream. So I don't know yet.
No, well that wouldn't be good.
See right here. Wind drops to 0, then switches to the east, then northeast, 23 knots before it dies down. It's just here, which is between 27 and 28. Let's have a look at the weather. Get a look at the current. 27 and 28 Gulf Stream. Oh boy, boy, boy.
Can you put it right where we are? I want to show the other. Join us in the next episode when we play a chess game with the weather as we head towards the Gulf Stream and crossing the Gulf Stream towards Rhode Island. Okay, it's on. Come inside the camera view. For the people who follow my Instagram, they know that we've sold BioTrek. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Just keep an eye on the boat. The owner is back in Spain, and he's coming back in October until early November to take the boat down to the Caribbean, assuming the weather is okay. Assuming the hurricanes, yes, it's clear for you to go. So in November, October, November, it's easy to forecast the hurricanes because we see them coming all the way from Africa. So we have a good week to 2 weeks head up.
You're saying we?
Sailors have.
Because we're not going. We're staying put.
Yeah. So anyway, no, just keep an eye on the boat while he's not here so that there are no bad surprises when he comes back. So, and that's about it. Just
and everything's looking good because it's nice to come and check it out because it's rained a lot, but the bilges are dry and everything looks good, so we're happy with that.
No mildew in the boat and all these little things.
Well, the last time we came, I guess he left in a big rush because he left the refrigerator closed, even though we're on land, and it was turned off, and I opened it up. It was covered in mildew, so I cleaned it up for him. I hope he appreciates. I'll even show a picture of it. I wasn't too happy, but I guess he left in a big rush, and so now the refrigerator is propped open, and I've checked it today, and it looks perfect. All right.
And we also did, every time we come down, we put power on the starting so that it can download we don't have to be logged in, but it's important that we keep the power on once in a while so that he can download the updates and it'll become out of sequence. So that when he comes and puts his own access to it, it'll be up and running.
Yeah. It's always fun to be back on BioTrek. It kind of feels like home. Yeah, it kind of feels like home being here. But still, we're kind of glad to move on.